I'm a young man from India. I'm 26 years old. I feel like I don't relate to the community that I'm surrounded by, and moving in a different direction. I'm outside the pack. I'm disciplined. I'm not common. Um, Plus, I'm creative. So I think that makes me powerful, if it does. And now I would tell you the name that I got from my parents. And my artistic name is Mandeep. My name is Mandeep. So I'm a rapper. I'm a hip hop artist. I'm a record producer and audio engineer. You can find me on Instagram. Man is D33P. So yeah, that's MANDIS, then 3 and P. Man is Deep. And you can find me on Spotify, Man Deep. That's my artistic name. Yeah, that's all about my socials. I'm on Facebook too. I don't remember. I think it's Man Music is Deep. Man Music is Deep is my Facebook. Man is D33P is my Instagram, and Man Deep is my name on on Spotify.
Okay, all right. So how did you get into music?
It's a long story, Peter, but uh like family drama. But ever since I was a child, I always wanted to do something different than people around me that I was
Mhm,
surrounded by.
mhm,
And nobody was doing music here. Everybody was either being a lawyer or a doctor. And maybe that was the rage within me that I want to do something else. So I first got into cricket, then I got into soccer, then I got into motorbike stunt riding. And eventually, because of the quarrel in the house every night, I found my way to the music. Uh, I remember there was a night I was having my dinner, and my mother, just like always, she was like, "You can't get this food. You gotta do something. You gotta work. You gotta study." And I just couldn't take it that day, so I left my home late in the night. I was just a child, like in the high school or something,
mhm,
and I was in the park listening to the music, and I came across "Till I Collapse" by Eminem, and I'm like, "Damn, this is something." Like
mhm,
there was a spark that I could relate to. So I
mhm.
went back home and I did my research on Eminem and listened to his track, read his lyrics and his entire life story. That kind of inspired me to look into music. And then I came across Linkin Park. I love that music. So that's where I got my inspiration from, and that's how I got into music, Peter.
Yeah. So how about the name Man Deep? Did you
Well,
also
that's
come
my
across it at the same time, or did that kind of develop over time?
Nah, that's actually my birth name. My parents gave me that, and it's an Indian name.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's Indian name. It's the pronunciation in India is it's like Mandeep, and what it means, like Indian names, they have the meanings and stuff like that. So the meaning of my name, sorry, is I touch people heart. Like whoever I talk to, I kind of like they kind of love me, and that's the origin of my name. But yeah, I was thinking about my name. I had a band when I was in college called Sci-Hop. We used to play rock music. And then I was thinking like I want to take this thing seriously, and I need to have a brand identity and stuff like that. So I was like, well, I'm gonna keep it real, but if I use this name and take it to like, international people,
Hmm.
it's Man Deep. So that's what I represent too. Like I'm a deep man.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. But that's right on point, man. It's right on point. So
Yeah.
most I hear a lot of artists or most artists say, well, there's a point where I decided to take it serious, right?
Mhm.
They decided to take the music seriously. What does that mean to you when you say you decided to take it seriously?
There was a point when I just couldn't live without it. Like
Mm,
not without listening to it, but without creating it. Like I just can't spend a day without thinking about the rhymes, and especially the emotions. I guess I was going through a lot of changes in my life at that time, and music was a big part of me at that time, and I wanted to feel connected to people. And I found that music was the way that I could find good friends, like my bandmates. Like I never had much friends and stuff like that, but the people that I was in touch with, we were all connected to music, and music was the only thing that I could express myself clearly with. And that's when I realized, like, okay, so you can't do anything else in your life right now. Like, you tried so many different things, but this thing is what you can't live without from this point on. Like, you tried giving up this thing too because of the family and stuff, but you can't. So you got to take it seriously. You got to make a living just by music. And so think about not just creating music, but how you can make money. So that's when I was like, I'm going to take it seriously.
Yeah. So where are you on this journey as far as you've taken it serious now? So where are you as far as making money, development, your evolution? Where do you feel like you are now in your career?
Right now, Peter, I got my initial inertia, if you know what I mean.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
yeah,
Mhm.
like, and the more that I learn about music, I feel like, damn, there is a lot more to it. I was like in the beginning, oh, you just gotta write perfect track. Like back in the day, like I was when I was, I guess, 15 or 16, something like that. And I was like, you just gotta write one big hit, and then some big company, they're gonna pick you up and you're gonna be the star. That's all you gotta do. And that's all I knew back then. But
Mhm.
now when I went to Australia, I did my bachelor's in um what do you call it, audio production and sound engineering. That's when I realized, like, oh, this is indie market here, and you got to do all these marketing and promotions and the back end stuff. So I think right now I'm at initial inertia, where I know how things works, where you get the money from, and what you got to do to get the money. I'm
Mhm.
getting a little bit of money from my streams, but not too much. But now I know the way, so I'm just gonna put work, and hopefully I'll grow.
Yeah. Well, that hasn't discouraged you at all. The amount of because I'm a creative too. So when you look at the amount of work, when you finally realize that, sometimes that's very discouraging. So that didn't discourage you at all. Like, wow, like look at a lot. And I have to create, but I also have to do a lot of this work. So that doesn't in any way discourage you.
No, I find it interesting, to be honest.
Mhm.
Like, cause it's like a challenge, and you gotta come up with these strategies. Okay, so I'm gonna try this strategy to make my music heard. And if that fails, you gotta come up with another creative plan. So though it's a part of a business, but you still gotta be a creative to come up with these ideas, to spread your music to the people. Though sometimes it's a little too much, like, because you just can't sit in front of the computer the whole day, email people. Sometimes it's hard, but you still do it. You got to stick to the plan.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So tell me, where do you think you've improved the most over your musical journey?
I would say, like, all the aspects, every tiny bit, like little bit in all the areas. But if I would say the one area, man, it's just hard to answer, because if I
Mhm.
think about the music side, the business side, I think that has improved a lot too. But if I think about the creative side, I would say my mixing and mastering, that's really improved over the years.
Yeah. Are you where you want to be sonically now?
Sonically, no, not
Okay.
yet. Yeah, I'm still finding my way, like, but I know that I'm heading in the same in the direction where I want to go. And I'm just checking the checkpoints, man, the milestones. I think I'm on the right track sonically, to get the sound that I wanted. So yeah, I believe I'm on the right path. I'm not where I should be or where I want to be right now. I'm not, but I don't think I will ever be there, because when you reach the point where you want to go, I think it grows bigger. They say something like that, and I think that's true.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
would you say that you're nominally different or drastically different from where you were in high school as far as sonically is concerned?
drastically. Yeah,
Drastically, really?
drastically.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know nothing in the high school about the frequencies and stuff like that. But
Mhm.
now, like, I have this deep knowledge how to mix and master and how to record. And you see this studio?
Yeah,
I built
yeah.
it myself after studying the frequencies and stuff. So I'm like,
Okay.
yeah, this is a
Well,
man
what
deep.
well, what about lyrically, man? I listen to psychiatrists and I also listen to Big Dreams. So
Cheers.
what about lyrically and what you represent and who you are? Has that evolved and changed over time as well?
Yes, it has. With me as a human being, like the things that I experience, I don't try to lay it down like on the paper. It just comes out. Like, I don't force myself to make music. That's the thing. Like I don't force myself to write stuff, but when I do it, it just comes out like whatever I'm going through. It's a natural process, I guess. But yes, it has evolved with me as a human being, like coming from the high school and now where I'm heading, and the things that are stressing me out, the things that are compressing me down. So I can see that in my music and in my lyrics too. It has evolved.
Mm. Is there anything you would change, like if you went back? Like, would you have started sooner, or is there anything you would have changed?
Right, like in my music journey, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah, right. I wasted time. I would change that. Like it's not like I wasted time, it's because of the community that I'm surrounded in too. Like
Hmm.
they were pulling me back, and most of the time I was just putting all my energy into convincing myself that you can do it, because everybody else was saying you can't make a living. And so because of that, I had to do a lot of courses, education that I didn't want to, and I
Hmm.
felt like that was like a complete waste of time. uh I wouldn't say complete waste of time now, because I did what do you call it, animation and multimedia, so how to record movies and stuff like that. So now I can connect like these two dots, like my music production and my video making thing. And of course it's useful now, but i would I would spend more time into music if I get a chance to go back where I was. Yeah,
Mm.
I would choose more music. I wasted time.
Well, it's interesting. What is the music scene, more specifically the rap scene, where you are now in India? What is that like?
It's changing now, like it's getting bigger now.
Hmm.
Like recently, there are a lot of rappers, like desi rappers, who are representing what they are about, and I love it. It was not here like before when I was growing up. It was all about love and Bollywood stuff, dance
Yeah.
and shit.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it was more like that before, but now people are evolving. They are looking at, I guess, the Hollywood or the bigger industries or the bigger artists, and they are getting their inspiration from that, I believe, because when I listen to a few tracks here, they use the same concept either in the video or either in the audio. They give the same message as a few tracks that I already know, like the Eminem and stuff like that. But yeah, it's evolving now, and people are making good music now here. I would say that.
Mm. Well, Eminem is such a worldly icon, right? Is
Yeah.
is there are there smaller rappers that are making it to your market that are also giving influence to you and maybe some of the other artists that are there?
Yeah, man, absolutely. But I'm not sure about India because I just came back here like last
Okay.
year.
Hmm.
But when I was in Australia, I came across Vinny Paz. You know Vinny
Hmm.
Paz?
Hmm. I do, yeah.
He's yeah, underground rapper.
Hmm.
And Snack the Ripper, Classified, all these
Hmm.
these legends, man. They're not that big in terms of market, but
Right.
their skills, their art is, man, much respected. So they are making their way here. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, do you study people at all? Do you listen to someone and say, "Hey, look, I like the way he did this hook. I like the way this bridge came in." I
absolutely.
okay, okay.
Yeah, Peter. Like I think when I was studying in Australia, we had to do our masters. We had
Hmm.
to create something of our own. So let's say an album or something like that. And there was a guy in the class. He said, "I don't have any reference." And the teacher was like, "Well, you can't make anything because you need to have a reference. Like music, you just all the books in the world came from Bible. That's what they say." And
Hmm.
that's the same with the music. Like you can come up with the emotions and the ideas, but you gotta have the inspiration from other people, the structure of the song, the punchlines in the rap and how they structure that. So yeah, I'm studying a lot of artists. I do study.
Well, that's interesting. Do you feel like the Indian market where you are now is somewhere where you could explode and kind of be the person on the front of the curve?
Okay. So like in India, how can I say the so my state, for example, I live in North India. People don't listen to English music here at all. They don't understand English. They don't talk English. So
Hmm.
it's yeah, that's deep here. And when I play my tracks to them, they go like, "Ooh, this is so cool," but I didn't understand a word. And I'm like,
Okay.
how should I take it as? Like, is it a compliment or what you're saying? So, and they asked me to, why don't you try rapping in your own language? Why don't you try rapping in your state language? You know, in India they have different languages in the states and stuff.
Mhm.
And when I was getting into the rap, like 8-10 years ago, I had this choice to make, either to get into the Bollywood rapping with Hindi or get into the like use English as my language. And because I was inspired by English rappers, because I found meaning there and I couldn't find meaning here, so I like shifted towards the English rappers. But in India, there are a few states like Mumbai and Chennai and Hyderabad where people listens to English music. There is this rapper in India called Brother V, and he raps in English, and he's a big deal here. So I think I can find my place here, but I'm not focused finding my place surrounded by people here right now, if I be honest with you,
Okay.
because I know that my place is somewhere far away and at a much better place. I just got to put in the work and be better at it. But right now, if people are telling me that they don't understand me while I write these deep lyrics, so what's the point like spreading my music here when they don't understand what I'm all about?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first recording or
Oh,
at least your first attempt?
fuck yeah, I do. I listen to it now and I'm like, Jesus, how bad it was. But yeah, there was a nice track. It's called Nobody's Perfect. That was the title of the track. I remember that. We recorded that in the studio here. It was a professional studio and they charged me a lot of money. But I went in there and I was fully prepared. I did my takes in like 5 minutes. And the
Oh,
guy was
really?
like, yeah, the guy was like, you come prepared. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. Well, you teamed up with Sarah. How did
Oh,
that happen? How did that
you,
happen? Well,
you
you know
you
what?
did listen to my tracks.
Yeah, yeah. You teamed up with Sarah, but you also teamed up with another young lady on another track. I think it's
Easy Jade.
YZGY. Yeah,
Yeah, Easy Jade.
yeah.
Yeah.
How did you reach out to them, or was that what happened there?
It was a lot of paddling on my push bike. Just kidding. So I was doing the majors in my music production, and we had this task to collaborate, go out in the world, find people who would like to collaborate with you, and just make music with them. So at that time, uh, I had no clue about the Melbourne. I don't go out much. So all I did was I went to every single school, creative school, music school, and I was distributing my pamphlets to people, going out to the notice board and printing it like looking for a singer, music album in progress, contact here. And so Easy Jade was a singer who was studying at another school and she contacted me and she was like, hey, I saw your poster and I would like to collaborate with you. And I was like, can you send me some of your tracks? And she sent me and I got the vibes, like the vibes that I was looking for the track. And she came in, we did a like a fun recording session, like a what do you call audition kind of thing. And she fits perfect for my need. And so she became a singer on the track Dark Days. And the Sarah, I posted something on Facebook group that the same poster and she contacted me through Facebook like, hey, I would like to be a part. And she was in Melbourne just on the vacations because I think she's from Paris mainly.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, I have this time line left and I'll be going back to Paris, so do you think we can still work? And she has like wonderful voice, so I'm like, yeah, we can get it done. So that's where these two artists came from.
Both of them are extremely talented, man. When I say you got lucky, brother, you got lucky.
Yeah, maybe yeah, that's right, I got lucky. They are super, man. I love their voice. Powerful voice, easy,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
strong. And then Sarah, so tiny but so touchy, you
Mm-hmm.
know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love
Mm.
that.
So how do you write your lyrics? What's the process there?
The technical process.
The creative process.
Right. So the
Mm-hmm.
creative process would be I just go through the emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I'm feeling something and something is stressing me out, I just sit down and lay it out as an essay. Like just write everything that is bothering me, like a journal. And then I would narrow down the words that would describe best those emotions, you know, like from the dictionary or something like that. And then I would form like these lines that could be more impactful using those words, and that expresses my emotions better. And then I would go either sometimes to rhyme zone that .com,
Yeah.
or either I sometimes I have like pages of words sometimes in my iPhone on the notes. So that's how I write my music. Just first the essay, and then narrow down the words that describes my feelings best, and just then compress them together, combine them together to say what I want to say. Lyrically, yes.
Mhm. When do you know your song is complete already? Because and I ask that because a lot of artists, they kind of like they do it, then they do it again, then they do it again. You know, it's this pursuit of perfection, right?
Hmm.
So how do you know when your music or your work is ready for the world?
I still don't, if I be honest. Like I'm still
Mm.
thinking about my tracks, Big Dreams,
Mm-hmm.
and whenever I listen to that track, I go like, I could add more melody to that, or I could change my flow here. It's still like it's always like that, but when I reach that point where I have invested a lot of time in that and it's sounding good, like sonically on all the speakers and stuff, I'm like, okay, this is ready to go. Because if you keep adding more stuff to that, you'll never gonna find perfection. There is this line from this rapper: why am I searching for perfection knowing it's something I won't find? Mike Shinoda from Linkin Park, if you know.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, so I just stop myself from writing more stuff onto the song because I know it's never gonna finish, and I just gotta kind of have to tell myself like, hey, it's sounding good sonically, and you're getting the vibes that you want to get from the music, and it has the same lyrics, and it has the impactful melody, catchy intro and stuff like that. So I think it's good to go. Well, I'm still learning that. I could be wrong at this point, like maybe there is more to the music that I just don't know yet. I'm still figuring out. But so far, if it's sounding sonically good and it has a groove, it has a good melody, and it's touching my heart, my emotions, and I feel like, okay, this is exactly what I want to express emotionally, and this is how I want to connect to other people, and they can feel the same thing too. Like the people that I have, like a few friends, and they say that, hey, I'm getting this feel like Linkin Park from this song, and I know that they were my reference on this track. So I'm like, okay, that's done. Let's move on. So that's when I realized that it's done, Peter.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned earlier that you kind of thought in the beginning that success is going to come. You just do you make a smash hit and then you kind of like ride off into the sunset from there.
Hmm.
So let's separate talent from success. Like I think those two things are different. Would you agree with that?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Yeah.
In your mind, what do you think it's going to take to become successful now? Is it still the same? Like I still need to create that smash hit, or is it something else?
Well, right. Again, I could be wrong because I'm still learning, Peter. But right now, I feel like I gotta be disciplined. I am like that's the biggest change came across in my life like last year, and ever since I had that change in my life, I'm seeing the results that I was not seeing before.
Mm,
So I would take that as something positive. Like you gotta be disciplined and you gotta do things even when you're not willing to do. While before I was only doing music when I was like, I want to do music, but now I'm doing music when I feel like, okay, this is the right time for a release. This is the right time to make the impact. And daily, it's the daily habits that you invest in yourself or in your career that's gonna make you successful. Like you can't just post on Instagram today and then after 10 days you're posting again, and that is completely different to what you posted last time, or that is not even something engaging with your audience. For example, I invest like 4 hours a day daily doing marketing, either sending my tracks to the playlists or either sending my tracks to the blogs or contacting gentlemen like you.
hmm
And 3 hours a day every day I would spend creating music, doing something creative. And then 1.5 hour of the day I would spend learning something new related to the field that I'm in. And then another 1.5 hour of the day I would just spend reading just a random book, any book. So ever since I got this routine, my life changed a lot. and now I'm more focused. Now there is no doubt ever since I have this routine, like if I will be successful or not. But before, I was spending a lot of time. Oh, why it's not happening, man? It's no future in music. Find something. You know what I mean? But now I can
I
see
do
the
know.
results. Now I see where I'm moving. Everything is just so clear. I have a plan. So yeah, that I can. I don't know what I was saying. I forgot the question.
No, no, you're right on point, man.
Right.
My question would be though, how are you defining success these days?
The definition of success for me,
But yeah, mhm.
it changes, I guess. Right now, I would define like the amount of money that I would make just via my music. So right now, my goal is to get 36,000 streams or listeners on Spotify. Listeners, actually, 36,000 monthly listeners on Spotify. And if I get that, that would be like the definition of success for me, because I think I'm already successful at the creation of music that I want to make. Like there is no doubt in that, because that's exactly how I want to sound, and I'm coming across straight to the point that I want to state. So I think I don't have any problems there. But the business side, that is the definition of success for me right now.
Yeah. Well, you're
Because it's
working
a
hard.
yeah, sorry,
No,
because
no,
it's a
go ahead.
broad questions, like
Oh, absolutely it is.
yeah,
Absolutely,
brother.
man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, how much do you think luck plays into success, if at all?
I don't think luck is a thing. I
Hmm.
could be wrong, Peter, again, but I don't think it's a thing. It's all work. I believe, strongly believe it's all work. Like um thinking about my life in general, like I
Mhm.
have people who say that, oh, you are lucky that you know what you want to do with your life.
Mhm.
And I think to myself, like, I think I'm not lucky because I invested time playing cricket, I invested time playing soccer, I invested time doing motorbike stunt ridings, and I did that with all my passion. Whenever I was doing those things, I was like, I want to be the biggest thing in this game. So that how much passionate I was when I was doing that. And that's when I came across this new thing called music. And that ever since I came in touch with music, I was like, this is what I want to do. And when people say that, oh, you are lucky, no, I don't think. I think you gotta be brave. You gotta invest time into the things that you want to do, and you really gotta do a lot. Maybe that's when you find your luck, like one tiny thing that would make you so happy. And just with the single as well, like if I just sit down and don't contact people and say like, okay, my song's gonna blow, if I'm lucky, nothing's gonna happen. But if we go humble and if we say that, okay, I'm gonna do my best, and if the people that I reach out to and some of them help me grow, that then I'm lucky. Of course, then I'm lucky. It's just the use of the words, I guess. Like you
Oh,
can say that
absolutely.
you're lucky, but you are putting in the work. That's why you are becoming lucky.
Listen, I agree 100%. I don't, and when I use the word luck, I don't use it in a disparaging sense, as if, the person just kind of bought a lottery ticket and stood around and, and became rich. I don't mean it in that respect, but I do believe that it takes, you have to meet the right person, right? Or you have to meet
Right.
the right people along the way. And it's a timing of everything.
Mm.
Just like you said, I don't know if it was Sarah or Easy, one of those two people had to go back to Paris, but you kind of met them in that window to where they could
Yes.
they could do the chorus. So that
Yes.
was a timing issue, and so I don't mean luck in a disparaging way at all. I do mean though that the timing and the probability of everything kind of happening is very important.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think that's all planned. I don't
Okay,
know.
okay,
Maybe that's all planned, from the heavens and the hell. I don't know.
it might be,
Yeah,
it might
maybe.
be,
Maybe
it
we
might
all
be.
have our journey pre-planned and we are just living it. Who knows?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I don't know. I'm like you. I don't know where I stand on that. I kind of like let things unfold
Right.
and and see what happens.
I'm like the opposite. I try to
Mm,
control things, man.
mm,
Like if something is happening somewhere, like for example, you said like I met Sarah in that time frame when she was leaving.
mhm,
At that time, I'm thinking in my head, I could be wrong, Peter. Like, yeah.
mhm.
So I'm thinking in my head, like, okay, if I would have met Sarah when she already left and she contacted me via Facebook while she's in Paris, we would collaborate using Pro Tools collaboration cloud. You know what I mean? Like right now I'm working the same way with the guy from Switzerland, working on the new track, and we are collaborating. Like I'm here, he's there, but on the Pro Tools we are working on the new track. Maybe I need to live life more to really understand what luck is, but so far this is what I make of the luck, man.
Yeah. Well, I guess for me, we're in two different generations. I'm a little bit older than what I look. And so for me, I kind of had to release or let go of controlling things. Like it just made it a lot easier for me because what I found is that over time, what I was doing, I was like, man, I'm working extremely hard. I'm doing this. I have a regimen. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do, but it's not happening. And I found myself having anxiety, not a lot, or being angry for something that I can't control.
Right.
And then I begin to realize that it's the Mandeeps of the world who contact you through social media. It's those things that kind of help your journey develop and then you become you. Without those things, those moments in time, whether you want to, define them as luck or probability or destiny, but it's those things that are that make you go where you are. Right.
That's
like
deep.
You know what I'm saying? Like if you look at Eminem, you look at it, I'm sure you, in addition to knowing his music, I'm sure you kind of understand his journey, that he was just kind of doing freestyles from here to here. And then I think the story is that someone found his tape, really.
He was giving tapes to everybody. Yeah. And
right,
then one guy found it.
But it was the daughter of an A&R who listened to the tape.
Yes. And then A&R went to the Dr. Dre.
Right. You see, but if it were not for that daughter who, just generically, arbitrarily just kind of listened to the tape, we wouldn't even know who Eminem is.
But if Eminem was not distributing his tapes.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
He had to do his part.
He had to do his part. But yeah, I believe what you're saying. I think that makes sense, man. That's really deep what you said, like right now. And I think I'll change my perspective too, because the thing that you said about anxiety and stuff, when you're putting in the work and you're still not getting, absolutely, you're going to get anxious. And that's what's happening with me too. Happens with me too sometimes, but really something to learn from you there, Peter.
Oh,
I'll think about it.
Thank you. How often do you, because you're into goal setting, so how often do you want to create a song? Do you say, okay, I'm going to create a track every month, every week? Do you have that goal as well?
Every day.
Okay.
Like I come into the studio with a mindset, today I'm going to create a new hit. But like with that mindset, I know myself, it's not going to be possible. But I tell myself that because with that attitude, at least I can get the starting of something new. And if that something new is so wonderful, then I would work on it and maybe finish it like within a week or something. So I come here every day thinking that I'm going to make a new track today.
Okay. Well, how big is your catalog at this point then? What, 50 songs, 60 songs?
No, but like the music that I create every day, it's just the demos. And if I don't feel them, if I feel like they are rubbish, I would not work on them. I would just like, okay, let's keep it separate in the other pen drive, hard drive, and work on the songs that you feel like are really good.
Well, but even in that respect, even all those things that you think are rubbish, collectively together in the aggregate, how many songs would you say you have?
I don't know, man. It's a lot. It's a lot, Peter. You need a number?
No, I don't need a number, but would you say it's at least 100?
More than that, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, because it's been 10 years too. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, but you do find yourself getting better though, right?
Absolutely, Peter. Yeah, that's so true. Getting better while working on the tracks, figuring out new tricks. And especially, remember the thing that I said about spending 1.5 hours learning new things that are related to my field? I think that's really powerful in order to learn and in order to grow better, in order to be better as a musician.
Yeah.
So every day when I spend that 1.5 hours just learning the new skill, and then I use that skill into the next production. So it really moves me forward.
Yeah. Well, how are you picking your tracks?
What do you mean by picking? Like,
are you creating the tracks yourself? Are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
The music. Yeah. I create myself.
So you're developing tracks inside of Pro Tools.
Oh, like you want to know the creative process of the writing music?
Well, are you using what did it, I forgot the acronym that they are, but are you using something like Fruity Loops or
Doe. Oh yeah, yeah, right. So I use quite a different DAWs. Like the I use Ableton for the
hmm
creation of the beats.
hmm
But if I have to record instruments or vocals or mixing and mastering, I do that inside the Pro Tools. So I begin my projects inside the Ableton just to lay out the ideas, and then to finalize them and to finish them, I take them over to the Pro Tools.
Okay. Do you see yourself, do you want to get signed by a record label or do you think you want to continue the independent route?
I love the independent route. And I would say, like, even if I don't succeed, I would say that I did what I could in my life and made the decisions that I could. Though struggle is what I love. I love suffering, if I be honest with you. And quite a few girlfriends that I had, they said the same thing. What's wrong with you? You love to suffer.
hmm
And but that's what I love, man. So being independent artist and just to learn, I think learning is what I crave for. I want to learn everything about music industry, about music creation. And if I get signed by a label, I think I would be in a bubble, you know what I mean,
I
where
agree.
like
I agree.
other people are dealing with the things that are related to me, and I'm just dealing with the things that is especially related to me in a way. But I want to be an independent artist, taking care of all the things that I can lay my hands on. And yeah, I love that.
Okay. Well, I think these are, so I'm going to ask you this question. I think these two things are different. I think there's a difference between a good song and a great song. So let's talk about a good song. Tell me in your mind what makes a good song.
Jesus, that's hard.
Well,
Okay.
because to like, okay, Eminem Till I Collapse, right? That's a great song, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it in a good category.
Hmm.
Uh, some stuff that Ariana Grande is good, right? But it's not great.
Hmm.
So if
Okay. Yeah.
there's a, if maybe there isn't a distinction for you.
Right.
So just tell me what you think is makes a good song or a great song.
Right. So me personally, of
Yeah,
course,
yeah,
because
yeah.
people have different tastes. For
Yeah,
me,
right.
Till I Collapse is best, and for someone
Mhm.
else, it's not.
Right,
Well,
right.
for me, if the music touched me and if the music moves me, like if I feel something from the music, and if it's inspirational, motivational, or if all right, if the song is expressing the emotions that the song wanna express, and the listeners gets that the exact feeling, I think the song is good.
Okay.
And if a listener listens to the song and he gets the same feeling and he go like, who is this artist? I want to know more about this track. Who wrote this track? Who produced this track? Then the song is great. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So
I
I
do.
think that these are the two different ways I look at good song and the best song. For me, my best song so far is have you heard From the Inside by Linkin Park?
No, I have not.
Yeah, yeah, but it's a great song, man.
Mhm.
And I listened to that track like 7 years ago, and since that day, so far, I haven't heard anything better than that for me personally. Cause there is a guitar section in that song. Whenever I listen to that, I cry like a baby. I don't
Mhm.
know why. I don't
Yeah.
know why to this day, but that's so
Mhm.
powerful.
Yeah. Are you working on an image in conjunction with your music? Like I give you an example. Like Linkin Park, right?
Right,
The lead singer, uh,
Chester.
he had the hat backwards, right? Like whenever he performed, like Limp Bizkit when you hear them,
Yes, sir.
Eminem when you hear them,
Yeah,
Jay-Z when you hear him, right? Like they
yeah.
have an image and a style,
Mm,
and to me they're kind of they're meshed together. Style and image are meshed together. Are you
mm.
working on that as well? So like whenever we hear a Man Deep song, like we know it's you.
I'm not working on that yet, but
Okay.
that's absolutely what I think about. Because
Mm,
I need more knowledge about it. You know, like I don't know much about how what's the image exactly and how do I sound like exactly. Like I know a little bit about these two things, but right now I'm not working on that. Right now I'm just writing more music. Maybe that's how I will find my own image. After a year or so, I will reflect back and listen to the entire thing that I have, and maybe then I'll come up with the image. come up.
Cool.
Yeah,
Are you writing music for yourself or are you writing it for an audience?
for myself, absolutely. Because I know that if I write for myself, I would surely find my audience. Because people, they go through the same things, just different structures of their life, their story, but they go through the same emotions. Everybody.
Do you think you're ready for uh, the success that you're looking for? Do you think you're ready for the autographs and being transparent and all the things that come with fame and that type of success?
Right. Okay. For me, success is not like I never thought about success like signing autographs or the paparazzi. I never
Mhm.
thought about that. Whenever I think about success, Peter, I go like I have this image where I'm somewhere in the fields and I have a beautiful studio and I'm surrounded by like-minded creative people, and we are working on something that is so powerful, and from there we're going to release it and people going to listen to it worldwide, and sometimes we go out and perform the song and connect to people, see people who are really moved by my music, and just to see those faces, because I'm one of them who really got inspired by Eminem and Linkin Park, and they changed my life, man. I want to make that impact. And when I have that impact, I would consider myself like I'm successful, and I'm ready for that. Right now, I'm ready for that. Like if I get it tomorrow, fuck
Mhm.
yes, let's do it. But
Well,
I don't think I'm ready for the fame thing, like, like
right,
getting the
right.
photograph. Yeah, yeah, bro.
Yeah,
I'm not ready for that. I'm
the
scared.
parasocial relationships, man, are insane to me anyway. Like,
I
Eminem even talked about it in his music, like he can't even go to the bathroom at a restaurant without somebody wanting him to sign an autograph.
Yeah, that's
So that
bad.
seems pretty intense. I don't necessarily know if I would be ready for that.
And do you think like when you're that successful, you have to be nice to people because you have an image now? Like even if someone is coming in the bathroom to take a photo, you gotta be nice. Is that something? Okay.
Well, I think I would say yes, but from the perspective of that's the person who kind of pays your bills, right? Like without your audience, I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately,
Mm,
but without your audience, you're not who you are, right?
exactly.
Like if those people make you who you are. So
Who you
so
are.
to a certain degree, I think you owe them. I don't want to say complete transparency or total generosity, but I think you kind of compromise who you are in your time for them.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, Peter. I'm not ready for that then.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Is there it who else other than Linkin Park and Eminem, uh, big names? Because I know you talked about some independent people, big names. How have inspired you?
Big names. All right. So Jay-Z
Yeah.
and all right, just give me a second because I know I listen to a lot of other artists. I respect
Yeah.
them too. They are big names. They're just not in my head right now.
Mm-hmm.
And you would go, whose track is that? Life it seems to fade away. Metallica.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I listens to them, and
So you listen to just about anything and everybody.
yeah, not to anything. I don't listen to pop at all.
Oh, really? So Ariana Grande and
Nah.
Dua Lipa, that's not your thing?
I mean, whenever I listen to the tiny bit of their song, I'm like, I can't relate to it, so
Mm. Okay.
I don't feel nothing there.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm guessing you're not trying to one of your goals is not to make a dance track or something that's played in the club.
I would, I mean, I would, but in my own way. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
would be a hell lot of experiment to do, but I do
Mhm.
think about this. Like, maybe after 3 or 4 years, I think that's when I'll invest my time experimenting with different genres. When I have a good hold of what I actually do, what I want to do, like in hip hop and stuff. That's
Mhm.
when I'll go out my boundaries and explore. But I do want to do something like that, explore with different genres.
Mhm. Mhm. Have you
Maybe make a dance music so inspirational and motivational.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Have you studied the art of emceeing though? Have you studied and when I say study, I mean this is a very loose and broad question. Have you okay, well, an MC should be able to do this. Like lyrically, I should be here. Have you studied that?
I did try like freestyling. I was trying my level best to learn it. I couldn't. Maybe it's because it's not my first language, or I don't know
Hmm.
what it is.
Hmm.
But man, it was so tough for me. I
Hmm.
remember I was riding my push bike every day to the school and back home, and I just think about the words. I couldn't rhyme like more than 4 lines. So I was like, this is not something for me. So I would invest my time learning the skills that I can. But I did study, like I know a little bit about emceeing, and I know what a perfect rap is, or it should be. Like I know about the rhyming and stuff, but I haven't practiced those skills enough to be better at those skills.
Well, you know what, man? I will say you're probably better for it, man. Because I think one of the problems or one of the issues we have in America is we have a lot of people who are, I don't want to say cookie cutter, but
Mm,
they're carbon copies, right? And maybe not intentionally, but you hear something, you're influenced by that. You also see the benefits of what he or she is doing. And so you say, okay,
right.
well, they're benefited from it. So let me continue this or sound as close to this as possible
Mm,
as I can. And I
that's
think
right.
that kind of hurts creativity or originality, if there is such a thing anymore, right? Like we have so many things and so many
Wow.
people creating. So I don't necessarily know if we can, if we
Wow.
still continue to have things that are original.
That is so deep. You just said like if there is a thing as creativity right now, because you're so right. Like people, like those people who do the same thing as the big famous artists are doing, they are not in this thing for the love of the thing. They, I think they are in this thing for the love of the fame and the success, I would say. Because if you really love something, if you really like doing music, then you would challenge yourself to find your own space. And if you don't, then you know that you love to listen to the music, not to create the music. Because when you're creating the music, you're putting in something different into the industry. But you got to be honest to yourself. Like when you're listening to something, you like it, so you got to accept that you love to listen to this thing, instead of saying like I love to be this thing the same
Mhm.
way that this thing already is. You know what I mean?
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Okay, couple more questions.
Yes, sir.
Um, where do you want to be in the next 10 years? I know that's kind of difficult, but where do you want to be?
I think I kind of answered that. Like have my own studio,
Hmm.
surrounded by like-minded creative people, and working on something powerful far away in the fields. It should be in the fields for sure, like far away from the city, in the golden fields. Yeah, that's where I want to be, man. That's like the end goal. That's where I want to be.
Has your journey been fun thus far? Your musical
I
journey?
love it. I love it, man. Like if I died tomorrow, I would say that I lived a life that I wanted to so far. Because I love, like, even though I'm not famous or people don't know me, or I have like 153 listeners on Spotify monthly, I love that. I love that struggle, man. It's so wonderful. I'll keep going like this.
Well, it's interesting, man. You mentioned that struggle or that grind. What is it about that affinity? What gravitates you to? What pulls you into? Why do you enjoy that so much? That
I
struggle,
don't
that
know,
grind.
Peter. That's really deep question that bothers me too. But when you was asking me this question, I could think about my past. I was like this little boy playing in the summers, like 2 in the noon, all by myself, alone in the field, playing soccer, fully sweating, and people are making fun of me, like, is he crazy playing alone? And what's wrong with this guy? And the same thing with the motorbike stunt riding. I used to fall down. I used to have like my bleeding elbow, bleeding shoulders, and still I would go on. And the same with the rapping. I just go on, and like I have sore throat and I'm sweating. I turn off the AC aircon in my studio just to get the perfect takes, and it doesn't bother me at all. You know what I mean? And there was a time in my life where I knew I wanted to do music, but I had no way. I couldn't see a path how to make it happen. But still, I have that rage that I still do have right now, and that rage made me run like half marathons and marathons every day. I was just so stressed, and I loved it. Hmm, I think it's easy something out of me whenever I'm in pain. I feel worth it, even though I'm doing something that is completely opposite to being worth. But
Mhm.
I think when I put in the work, no matter what that work is related to, I feel like I'm worth it,
Okay.
that I'm alive. I think
Make,
that's why I love to struggle.
makes
I think
sense.
I'm in motion. I'm not still. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to answer this question before I ask it, but so my answer is this: is like I think you can be, but the question is, do you think you can be a mentor to someone now?
Yes.
And what would you share with them?
Don't waste your time. Find a routine. Find your routine. That's the first thing. You gotta have a time, the exact time where you wake up every day, and then follow the things. Well, that the choice is yours. If you're smart enough, you would add the things in your life that you know are beneficial for you. I think everybody is smart enough to do that, but not everybody is disciplined enough to allow those things in their routine, daily routine. Like everybody say that, oh, you got to work out every day, but still a lot of people struggle with that. Why? Because they are not hard minded. They still, I don't know, they still struggle to find their discipline. But if you push through, there is a point, if you push through that and stick to your discipline, you would love your life. You know what I mean? Like
Absolutely.
if you stick to a routine and do the things that you want to do, that you are meant to do every day, and you stick to that plan like for a week, then you would see the progress. You won't see the progress the first day or the first hour, and it's really hard, it's really tough to do something that you don't want to do but you have to do. But when you see the progress, everything just seems like, oh, this is powerful. I'm going to stick to it.